Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We are back from break. When last we left our heroes, they had been feasted by the Black-Tongue Bullywug tribe and been given copious amounts of information about the factionalism within this floor, the weaknesses and strengths of the various enemies that they had faced, and then we had a long break where we talked about penis tattoos. So, hi everybody, how's it going? And we're still dealing with the fallout of that. So, in the aftermath, right, of Culp's sudden prophecy, right? The shoulderman has collapsed, and he has been pulled off to the side by Izu. And let me readjust to make sure that you guys are in proper positioning, because you guys would all be down here. And in the aftermath of that situation, a new group of Bullywug have shouldered their way into the gathering, and one of them has spoken out, right, about how interesting this turn of events is. And there is suddenly this air of tension. Hands not necessarily on weapons, but definitely straying to them. And it's very clear, right? Like, the other faction has entered the arena, right? So you hear muttered under his breath, ask, kind of like whisper back to all of you, this one. New one, Zartem. And he kind of like steps forward and he says, why do you walk here, Zartem? And the other, this Bullywug kind of steps forward and he says, he kind of croaks, almost kind of like he's chuckling, right? And he says, I have no interest in you, ask. But those behind you, I am very interested. What brings you to these lands, strangers, and why?
Just passing through. We mean to go deeper.
Matashtai.
Giggity.
What's your passive insight?
Is that
7.
a stat?
What's your insight?
It's 10
7.
plus your insight modifier, so 17.
17? Does anyone have a higher than a 17 on insight?
Passive insight? No. Probably not. I'll check, but probably not.
Yep.
10 plus my insight, you say?
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a 16.
Pretty close. I think both Bones and Matashtai would catch this then. Zartem looks past the new generation at each of you. And it is masked, which is why not all of you notice it. But Bones and Matashtai, you swear there's a flicker of recognition.
When he looks at us?
When he looks at you, yeah.
I'm just watching a fly buzz by.
We know any frog boys besides the frog boys we've already connected with?
I thought that Rist's group was the only Bullywugs we have ever seen till now.
The name Zartum rings a bell, though.
And he's a frog boy, you said? He's not like a fucking slot or something?
No, I mean, he's standing in front of you. He's a Bullywug.
They can't change their shape or anything if he's.
What was the name of that wizard we freed from the tower?
Damn, fuck.
Was that Zardum?
That might be. Yeah, that rings a bell.
He's asked you all a question, and he's kind of waiting a response.
All right, what was the question
I told
again?
him
He
that we're
says,
just
Oh yeah. He does not acknowledge your response, Ashes.
I
You
put
do,
a
buddy.
hand on Risk's shoulder and I say, escorting a friend home.
Word has spread, bringing home the lost. Admirable, if ill-advised.
Excuse me, who are you?
Yeah. I also pop up. Hey, we know you.
Un momento.
Wait, we know him?
Wow, something about him makes me think that I've seen him before.
Yeah, he acting like he knows us.
Didn't catch that.
And you're unable to catch what happens further, as is Ezra. But Matashtai again, and Bones again, right? Like Zartum, this bullywug says, "I do not know you," but he's not telling the truth.
Huh? Hey, you play any instruments?
It is
Maybe like, like
that
an
is
octave bass?
that is an unexpected question, and there's like a surprise reaction on
Yes,
his
that's right,
face,
baby.
Bones, you feel certain that you have caught him.
Hell yeah.
Look at that.
But he does not say anything further. He doesn't admit anything. He just kind of like scoffs and he says, "This line of questioning." Bones, you can take inspiration if you do not already have it.
who was trapped playing
Yeah,
the thing
with the
forever?
We saved.
Dude,
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, fair enough. Me either.
How the fuck did you guys make that connection?
I stabbed in the dark, baby.
I heard the name, and Zach worked off of it.
Yeah, they both had kind of like this name recognition, and then Jake was like, that guy and then Zach just carried it fucking further.
What level did
Good
we
job.
find him on?
It's in
Mad Dog's
Mad Dog.
Castle, baby.
Yeah, fucking not long ago.
No, not
was
long
that?
ago at all. Like days.
I did
ago.
not make a note of that, man.
Yeah, because we basically just abandoned the dude.
We got him out the damn
All right, see you,
octave bass.
bye.
He looks at all of you and he says, he turns away from you for a moment, like he's composing himself, and then he turns back and he says, "Once more, I must ask,
What was his question again?
why are
What the
you
fuck you
here?
doing here?
You have delivered your charge. Why do you remain?
Well, we've been eating.
And after that, your intentions?"
Maybe some
Probably
venturing.
sleeping.
Wait,
Maybe
hold on.
Maybe a little exploring.
Wait. Why is it any of your fucking business?
I assist my lord in making sure this tribe stays protected.
I look around.
I had no clue that this is the guy that we saw up above. I'm just gonna put that clear as Matt.
Okay.
Don't know.
I mean, you can make that decision if you want, but you definitely detected like the lies
Yeah, I know he's
and
lying.
those types of things.
Like, I
right,
know this dude's sketch as fuck, but
Sure.
I don't know he's not a bullywug.
But by all means, that's fine.
Okay, anyway, I look around. Nobody looks to be in danger here.
They are not currently, but I must make sure that you do not pose a threat to them. And again, Bones and Matashtai, Ezra and Ashes maybe a little bit on this one too, because he's having the surprises that he has been dealt are kind of like shaking his ability to like hold up the facade, right? The way he's speaking to you and the way he's kind of like looking over his shoulder and things like that, it kind of triggers two things. One, that he's kind of making airs, like a performance, a presentation to the people behind him, the bullywugs behind him. And two, he seems afraid of you all.
Sure.
Like he he's hiding it fairly well, right? To any random onlooker, but he seems a little concerned, a little afraid of you guys.
I look to the new generation and I say, y'all feel threatened by us?
Cass steps forward, right? Like, and says, in his broken common, which, by the way, Zartem has been speaking in fluent trader's tongue the entire time, right? Like, no issue at all, right? Cass steps forward and in broken, kind of like tongue, he says, "Never safer." And he just stares at Zartem, who just kind of like eyes him in this kind of like, you and me, motherfucker, just one-on-one. Let's fucking go. Like, everyone else not
That's
here,
like,
let's fucking...
Okay, look, I would like to... I'll move on forward. I'll approach him. See if he... Will he...
He doesn't,
I make an effort to, like, walk up and, like, see if he'll meet me halfway.
He doesn't balk, right? Like, he doesn't, like, flinch from your approach. But you do see the bullywugs behind him grow tenser, and they kind of fan out, right?
That's fine. I don't make any kind of, like, I don't have anything drawn.
He is, again, like, you see, you can read things. You're a relatively insightful individual. He seems somewhat concerned. But after a moment, he does step the last little way to meet you. And he just waits. He just looks at you.
I reach my hand out and say, "Don't worry about that," or "Don't worry about it. Well, we never hurt our friends here." And I'll reach my hand out as if to give him a gentleman's agreement.
He looks at you incredibly suspicious, like he has no inclination to take your hand. Actually, more to the point, right? Like, he looks at you offering your hand in a handshake in recognition of what it is, and you look at the other bullywugs around and you realize they have no recognition of what you're sticking your hand out for. Right?
What is handshake?
Okay, so if I pick up on that, I say, I'll be like, "It's like this. It means we agree."
Under his breath, you hear Zartem say, "I do not know what game you play, Tabaxi, but it is a dangerous one."
Say under my breath, "You sure look different than last time. Why don't you come explain to us why it's different? Or why it's dangerous, whatever."
At this... Ooh. Roll me a persuasion check, Bones. Absolutely. Roll me a persuasion check. And I'm going to say at advantage because of you kind of have this leverage on Zartem right now.
Oh.
A 17 is a shit ton better than a 3. Holy shit. He kind of like, he eyes you and he says, "I cannot now. This situation is untenable." Announce that you will leave soon. We will withdraw.
I say, quietly, "All right, better see you soon." I said, "Oh, okay, I can tell you guys, maybe it's just better we pack up and head out for now."
There is legitimate, like, a couple of, like, the new generation are, like, stone-faced, right? Like, they don't respond. but other members like Cass, for example, and even Risk, right?
no.
Like they have this sudden like look of shock and dismay on their face, right?
So
Before
as you say
Izu,
that,
right? Okay.
I hit your brain with a "the fuck you say."
Even Matashtai is like, wait, excuse the fuck out of me?
Because I mean, I'm assuming I don't hear their like.
Oh no! It's
Well,
it's a very
conversation.
whispered, private conversation.
Yeah.
I'll spawn back quickly to him. Don't worry about it. I'll explain later.
You see Izu moves to like put a hand on Risk's shoulder, and Ask steps in front of Cask, almost kind of like a holding him back kind of situation, right? Like and you see Culp begins to kind of like moan like he's coming to, and Zartum looks at you, Bones, and he kind of like nods. And then he says, "The newcomers have brought with them brethren, and for that they have been celebrated. But they are not Blacktongue. They do not belong here. They will depart with blessings." And he turns and he looks at his, kind of like entourage, and he says, "We go now." And he begins to depart. And assuming that nothing else happens from your interactions, those bullywugs leave. And in the aftermath, there is a bit of confusion.
Yeah.
Basically.
What the fuck was that?
So, have at it.
I come
What
back.
was that? What happened?
I'll make sure they leave for sure.
They're gone.
I look at the wall and say, Mossy, anybody hiding around here?
Into the
Mossy
mud with you.
fades away, comes back about 30 seconds later, and gives you kind of like a little all clear, boss kind of situation.
Oh, call me boss. Oh.
Really?
He's getting there.
All right, I let everybody know. I'm like, yeah, hey, we know that guy.
We have never met a bullywug outside the menagerie.
I ain't went to
And now.
Bullywog. That was the guy from the castle. Pretty
Which
sure.
castle?
How many castles have we been in?
Top side?
Mad God's castle.
Thank you.
You mean the guy in the giant cello?
Also, I haven't been in that one, so just saying. Yeah, the cello man.
You have been in that one, just not recently.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Wasn't he a human?
Yeah, I think he was.
He was definitely a human when we met him last.
I mean, we're trying to get close.
Maybe
for
he's
him,
like what's his nuts from the tavern?
Doppelganger?
Avast.
So was he a bullywug pretending to be a man?
You mean a
A man pretending to be a
shapeshifter?
bullywug.
Shapeshifter guy?
Yeah.
Changeling?
Anastas.
Ain't nasty, bro.
A changeling.
Anastas, your entertainer.
I don't know what he is, but I'm pretty sure that's the guy. Just see what I look at Matt. Did you see the way he reacted when I asked if he played any instruments?
Yeah, sure did. Did not make that connection though.
I mean, if he's
Any of that.
if he's a magical practitioner with any semblance of actual skill, he could just change his appearance too, whether by illusion or physicality. When you offered the hand, that could have really changed.
It was
things
solid.
If it was an
Like
illusion.
there was no illusion there. It was a
Oh,
bullywug's
did they
hand.
touch hands? I missed them.
Oh.
Shaking hands.
You're right, they didn't.
Yeah,
Free information. Good
All
job.
right, I turned the call.
You got it out
How
of me.
long has he been around?
Not long.
He's
A
new.
few days. He's new.
Mm-hmm. I think he'll find us to explain himself.
He is either not one of your kind entirely, or last we met him, he was man.
So like half the new generation is like, okay, interesting. The other half is like, the fuck you say? Right? Like Risk and Cass are both like the deception and the subterfuge, the subtlety is beyond them, right? But Izu and Ask are more adept in these types of things, right? At this point, Culp begins to become coherent again and is brought back to his feet.
Anyway, there's somewhere we can rest that's not in your territory that might be somewhat safe.
The new generation kind of like gives you a shrug and says, "This is where we stay. This is where we know to be safe. Other places are outside our realm, thus a risk."
Yeah, right then.
You never know how much you say a word until you name a character that fucking word.
Right?
Like,
Well, we probably shouldn't stay. Don't want to risk him getting agitated. Though he didn't seem too keen on fighting.
Ask
Right.
steps forward and he says that, right? He says, Zartem seemed hesitant to face off against you. Which might
Better.
be good leverage. Zartem is strong. If he, as one of Yerk's 2 lieutenants, is unwilling to face you openly, that gives us an advantage.
I think it might be a better advantage than even that. They have somebody hiding in their ranks that's not a bullywug. Maybe his allegiance isn't to Yerk.
If he can be
Is Yerk-
turned.
Is Yerk's a bullywog, right? Everyone here's a bullywog?
You say that, right? Like,
Yeah,
And-
yeah, big bully.
and all of a sudden,
He's a-
big
here-
one.
here's the thing, though.
He's a bully
Here's-
toad?
Here's the thing. All
He's
of
a
a
bully
sudden,
world.
you say that, and everyone but Risk, basically, now that Culp is up, right, and shaking off his kind of like, you know, his situation, like he stumbles
Rugged
forward,
big
and
stupor.
everyone looks at him, and he looks at you, and he says, "We thought Zartem was one of us." At this point, I do not know what Yerk is.
But he is presenting himself as a bullywug.
Interesting.
Yerk
He,
is very powerful. His
Is
power,
Yerk just physically strong, or is he magical?
his power destroys life around him.
Sounds magical.
Decays life and vegetation. And he can move. Appear in a place in the blink of an eye. Fling the stuff of pure chaos from his hands.
What is that? What is chaos? Pure chaos. Is that...
Magic.
Oh.
so he's
Okay.
got necrotic damage and an aura of decay.
Anything
And he
that he
throws magic.
touches withers.
Okay.
Sounding
Whale?
rather undeady.
He is very strong.
Well,
With-
that's going to be a problem for us melee people.
With the full powers of the new generation, perhaps we stand a chance. Without you.
we need to speak to Zartem, or whatever his name is, right?
No. So he's Culp is giving you a scale, right, of Yerk's strength, right? He's saying if all of the new generation combined their might against Yerk, they might win. Right?
But against
unfortunately,
Yerk
that's
and
not the
all Yerk and all forces, or just Yerk?
No, just Yerk. Right?
Okay,
Like,
good.
that's why they can't, because Yerk and all forces, there's no way. Right? Like, adding Torbit to the mix, adding Zetlal to the mix, adding I mean, they can kind of like disqualify the other bullywugs because they have enough bullywugs to face off against the other, like, Yerk's bullywugs, right? But Yerk and his lieutenants plus Zetlal versus the new generation, it's not comparable. Like, Yerk and his forces win, right? Basically, the only reason, actually, as they're discussing this, they'll kind of tell you they're not 100% sure why Yerk hasn't just come out and
Steamrolled.
killed them, right? Like, picked them off individually.
Because he can't.
Why?
Because the Scourge will then just come in and
Colt
sweep
kind
up.
of nods, and he does say he thinks that removing the new generation takes too much of the might of the Blacktongue tribe away and leaves it potentially vulnerable to the Scourges. You four are the shift of power, because if you remain, then the new generation could be taken out, and still the Black Tongues could still defend against the Scourges, or Yerk's forces could be taken out, and the Black Tongues could still defend against the Scourges, right? You are now the shift in power balance.
Well, you know what? Yerk's title is now making a lot more sense. We need to speak with our oboe friend, our giant cello buddy. We need him to speak candidly to us what he's doing.
So Colt
Let's get
tells
on
you.
out of here. I think he'll find us.
What?
I told him to find us.
So Colt says, I think he would be looking here first. If you leave us, how will he find you?
All right, so
Call it a hunch.
he just for like until we speak to him, he's whitelisted.
The new generation nods. Kind of like in an apprehensive manner, but they nod.
Is he whitelisted though? We didn't.
Don't trust him, but
Oh, absolutely not.
They understand what the whitelisted means. Yeah, whitelisted means don't kill him on sight. Like, let him pass type scenario.
That feels like gray list him.
Okay, gray listed, fine. Semantics at this point.
I mean,
You guys
let's
want to
be,
go
let's be
mess around
clear
with some
here.
necromancers?
Say what?
So you guys want to just go mess around with some necromancers?
Like right now?
I don't know. Sure.
Not particularly. I'm more concerned about getting either the Scourges or Yerk taken care of before I worry about them.
Well, I'm just saying that I'm kind of with Bones on
Right
this.
now,
like,
they're a beehive over there. They're dangerous, but they're not really stinging us.
Yeah.
We're
Ashes
gonna
has
kick the
proffered.
hive. We're gonna get stung.
Ashes has proffered the idea, though, that maybe an enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of concept. Like,
Kind of what I'm
maybe-
trying to say. I
Yeah.
told him to come find us, and that we would leave, so he could save face with his little people. So,
Nazi.
that means we gotta leave.
All right, how about
Um,
this?
So
They
Colt
come
will
back a little more mad, and we gotta kill them all.
go ahead.
Let's say, what if we stayed here tonight? We didn't do anything tonight. Waited in the morning and see if at some point he stops by. And
That's
just
what
talk
we
to him.
agreed to.
Colt kind of steps up at that and he says, "You could go back to the entrance, to the edge of our territory, and wait there. We would know where you were. We could direct him if he came to us, and you would be close, but not so close as to cause issue."
I'm okay with that. Y'all okay with that?
I'm fine
Pretty
with
good
it.
to me.
If y'all aren't trying to do any venturing,
Not. I think we can let go of Ventrin just for this lead.
What about
we
exploring?
could also make our way to the temple ruins.
That's within their territory. We told them we'd leave.
That's where one of the lieutenants hangs out.
He's the green question mark.
No. We would have to cross through their territory, but that is not their lands, I thought.
The temple
No.
is their lands.
God damn it.
The temple is their lands, but the space to the southeast past the temple, the place of the past that
Remnant.
Izu described, that is not anyone's territory. That's no man's land. But getting there, you would have to either go around through unknown territory, or you would have to go through Yerk's territory.
Yeah, I meant the old people's temple, not the center ground. The
How much of a-
The
rail
center ground
hole
is the
area.
temple. It is the old people's temple. The bottom right area is just where a remnant is. It's not their temple.
I think Jake specifically is saying that I mentioned that there were other ruins to the southwest, right, in areas that you don't have unopened. He's talking about like basically making like a long way around, like going west, then south, then east around the central area to get there. You know, that type of thing.
Sure.
Which you could do. It's just unknown territory, and you know, if you're you do whatever you want to do, but if you're trying to get to where Zartum can find you, running off on, unless Zartum has magical location abilities, which you don't know, unless that's the case, running off into nowhere might not be conducive to him finding you.
I question whether or not he's actually gonna give two shits and come and find us.
That's also an option.
He's playing his little game.
Yeah, but whatever his game is, we might want to play.
I mean, but that's the thing. He has to come and find us. That's what the agreement was. What if he just says, nah?
Then in the morning we go exploring.
I shrug my shoulders. If he doesn't, then he'll just die with the rest. He knows that.
You know, that's a good point.
Cass kind of claps you on the shoulder bones and kind of like croaks, but it's like a grunt croak, like a grunt of agreement kind of scenario, like a yeah, kill 'em all kind of situation.
Okay, how much of adventuring day do we have left?
Half a day.
Yeah,
Half a
it's probably about like 1 or 2 in the afternoon at this point.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I think we should poke at something and then go and rest on the ledge. Personally,
Sure.
Well, the problem is, I think our options are very limited without encroaching on somebody's territory.
I mean, so I will say this, just because you kind of been told about these places doesn't mean you've uncovered these places or that you know what's there. So you guys could go to the southwest, like south of the entryway, right? And you could poke around those places for a little bit to kind of see what's there and fully explore them, and then just go rest, right? Like, without getting too terribly far away and fucked off in some other business. If that's what you're trying to aim for, right?
I just don't want to waste a whole or half a day.
It's a snap of the fingers. But I do agree with you. I understand where you're coming from, basically.
Well, I don't think it's like we have limited number of days. Like, stuff's not going anywhere.
Well, you
This-
do know I specifically
things
keep
on
track
other
of
floors-
days, actually.
Right, things on
So
other
yes,
floors might be
other
doing
shit is gonna continue to happen. So
I mean, and evil dog dad is getting further and further away now.
That's just what it is. He's fucking whatever. If we catch up, we catch up. If we don't, we don't.
anybody gonna like question anything about that dope ass fucking prophecy that Ashes got?
Prince of
No.
Shade. Oh yeah, there's notes that are
You
gonna.
forgot.
Well, the thing is, Ashes has no idea who Umbra Gaxar is. But
Rexacar?
Rexacar. But
Umbraxacar weeps in the deepest dusk. What the hell does that mean? What the hell's an Umbraxacar?
Of shade.
a Dagran.
You think it's a Dagran?
What's the Dagran?
Why you think that?
I'm curious too.
Well, so when I was making Crix as a character, I looked up a bunch of
All the
Dagrans.
dragons in existence, and he saw the name, so he knows it's a Dagran. That's funny. That's fucking funny. I love that.
Wow.
It's because
It is
I had
what
a
it is.
character that was all about Dagrans. It like remember
That's
I had
funny.
at one point an intention to have dragon facts that Crix
absolutely.
would just spout out from now and then. So
Yeah.
I looked up a bunch of dragons.
Pretty cool.
All right, well, it's up to y'all. I think we should go poke around, but if you don't want to, we can just go mess around. I mean, just sit around. Hey, if we sit around, can I have a look at that sword?
Ask is like, that would be fine with me.
Is it a short sword or a long sword?
The short
It's a
sword.
short sword. It's just neat.
It's also within your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Funny how that happens.
It is.
What's the
Very
plan?
coincidental.
Y'all are
Honestly,
hemming and hawing at this point.
If no one else is
Yeah.
gonna make a decision, I'm gonna say we go poke around.
All right.
I mean, Ezra really wants to get to these ruins, but he's not.
I don't think we can go to the ruins right
Let's,
now.
it sounds like we're gonna
Well,
risk it at the
I will say
ruins.
this: if Ezra's plan is to get to those ruins via a roundabout way, poking around is that roundabout way, right? So Ezra's like a mini vote with Bones on that one, right? Like, unless I'm
My only
misinterpreting.
point for this is that we just agreed to leave their territory, and I just don't want to go into their territory, specifically their territory, until we can do whatever with this man if he shows up.
So like that
That's-
only
that's my
leaves
only
going to
point.
that only leaves going to the southwest then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, kinda.
then we are not going to be somewhere for him to easily find.
So, for clarity, right? Like, what was proffered was the idea that you guys tell, or you guys let the new generation know that you're going to be in that area, that south, basically where you met Cass and the sentries. They let you know they have watchers on the edge of their territory, right?
Isn't that northwest, not southwest?
Southwest. Well, I mean, yeah, it's in the
We're
it's
not
in the
gonna,
northwest area.
live down there.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna go mess around down there and then come back up like to the ledge where we first came in.
Yeah.
To like rest.
So for
right?
clarity, if you go
That's
to
what I'm saying.
if you go to Jay's map where he circled the things, right?
Yep.
The northwestern circle, there are sections there that have been revealed on that map to you, right? But you still haven't explored them. You don't actually know what are there, right? You know, you've just kind of been vaguely told about them. So Zach is talking about poking around in those areas just to you know, see what's there and figure out what's going on, and then go camp out at the ledge, basically.
Sure.
Does everyone feel like they're on the same page now? Zach, is that a correct assessment of what you were talking about?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. We go. Oh, hey, more frog.
Or we can
Okay.
do nothing. But I'm just saying, if nobody cares, then
Well, yeah,
let's
if
just do
that's
what I want.
so. Hey, you quit that. Jay over here, fucking like blasting off again.
No, I'm just saying. I'm stopping the him haul.
Okay, so this
Force
is good.
attack.
The new generation, right? Like sees you off. There are messengers sent out, right, about various things. And basically they confirm, right, like with you that you're not. To be clear, you're not leaving, right? Like you're just going to the outskirts of their territory. Gonna try to have this discussion with Zartem, and then you'll touch base with them again, right?
Yeah, we'll be back. We're with you.
And that specific phrase, right? Like that's what the new generation was looking for right there. They believe bumps. So, You all head out, and you find yourself after walking through several of the, the flooded tunnels, the passageways. You find yourselves in that big, open, glowing expanse where you had originally come into the Slither Swamp. Now, where do you want to go from hither?
This way.
That looks like some land.
Okay.
Can we go over there?
Right, so you guys begin to head over in that general direction. And I will describe to you what you find. So, as you were exploring, kind of like going off the directions that you got from the myriad discussions that you had with the new generation, you find this ledge that's about 15 feet up from where the swamp is. So it's a good ways up. You kind of actually have to climb up to get to it. And because of its height, you can't really see anything back beyond it, but you have been told that there is this kind of like claw-like cavern past it.
Okay. Shall we check? I think we should check out the cavern.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to checking out the cavern.
Bones and Matashtai, you both have a climb speed, but
Sure
this cliff face is basically covered in slime, right?
Gross.
So as it's Matashtai's favorite, it's the scenario of it's a potentially dangerous climbing situation. But
How tall is it?
Follow up. I can run up water. Can I
But
not run up slime?
How tall is it?
About 15 feet.
Does non-Newtonian fluids count as water?
Ashes, boost me up there.
Because I understand your argument from a sticky boots situation.
Sure.
You're
So
like
I can
6
run up
feet.
motherfucking water.
You're like 6 feet. I'm like 6 feet. Just
You
boost
can't.
me on up there.
No. For clarity, I'm gonna nip this one in the bud real fast. You cannot run up water. You cannot, for example, you cannot run up.
I can run up vertical surfaces.
No.
Water.
You cannot
A waterfall is a vertical water surface.
You can run up vertical surfaces and you can run across water. You cannot run up vertical water.
I can run up vertical water.
That is
Even though Mitch did
bullshit.
not side with my cone argument, I'll side with Mitch.
That is bullshit.
This is sounding a lot like the cone
Especially,
argument,
right, it would be one thing, I might be convinced if it was non-moving vertical water, but water that is moving downwards like a waterfall, you absolutely cannot run
In fact,
up
it
a
says
waterfall.
across liquids. It doesn't even say
No.
water.
It says
outta
across,
here.
not up.
Yeah, it says across, not up.
Yeah, across.
You do not
just change your
ignore-
fucking point of view. It's across.
You do not ignore gravity, good sir. No, absolutely
like-
not.
I
If
get
you
to
can
avoid
run-
gravity when I'm running horizontally.
What if you could run faster than the water is falling?
Slap them both and say you can't run up water, and then tell Ashes to boost me up there.
Sorry, I was jumping between sides just because
I tear apart my boots and chop off my feet.
I was
What's the
gonna say-
point of being a monk?
I was gonna say, here's the deal, right? Bones and Matashtai, it is potentially more difficult to climb up this little 15-foot escarpment. But the only thing you risk right now is times. Okay? So, if you want to just try to climb it, you're more than welcome to. Or if you want to take a different tack, like Ashes, or like Bones wants Ashes to boost him up, right? You could go that route instead. What do you want to do?
Said like 7 times I would like to
Throw the cat.
enlist Ashes
You
to
throw the cat?
boost me up.
All right.
Okay, I
Ashes-
could just like stand on your shoulders. You're like 6 feet tall. I'm like 6 feet tall. It's like we're basically there.
Ashes. Yeah, that's actually true. You don't want to throw the cat?
I mean, I'm just saying, it seems like there's a lot more room for error that way.
There is potentially. Okay. If you're using some boosting techniques, it's simple enough for Bones to get up there in a easy amount of time without the risk of potentially falling. Bones, while you are up there, what is your plan now?
Now I will say, hey Matt, send me your special rope.
Oh, okay. Special
wrap it
rope,
around
boys.
I
I like
wrap
how
it around
Mitch's
myself.
response is, you know.
Alright, I look around. Is there any place to like tie it off?
Not really.
Alright, I tie it off to myself. And I brace myself.
Okay, gotcha.
Not ashes. I say not ashes.
All right. You guys hear the call, not ashes, and the rope is at the ready.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Bones just goes
There's
off the fucking hedge.
I
actually
slowly walk up the rope.
Yeah, it's with a rope and your ability to climb, and basically an anchor point. There is zero issue with you climbing up in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Easy peasy. Matashtai is at the top. Very little time has passed.
All right, now with both of us.
I will
We can try out.
boost Ezra to get him higher up on the rope so he has to climb a shorter distance.
Thank you.
Nice.
Don't hurt me.
Yep. I'll give him like the cheerleader pyramid.
I whisper to Bones, okay, when he gets about halfway up, we're going to pretend like we're dropping the rope. So he tumbles a bit, and then we're going to pull him back up.
He's so heavy, it's gonna break the rope.
I assume you're talking about Ashes and not Ezra.
No, we're talking about Ezra.
It's like 90% muscle.
Ezra, what is your strength?
What's that? My modifier or my value?
Value.
8.
Fine. It's not a pleasant climb, but it's only about like 5.5, 6 feet or something like that for you to actually climb up. You're not winning any awards in gym class, but you can get up 6 feet of rope, you know? Like, it is what it is.
Feels like grade school all over again.
Right? And then there was one.
Alright. I ask Matt to also tie himself off. Because Lord knows I'm not going to make it alone.
I also tie myself.
Wow. Okay.
Alright, we're ready.
I attempt to help.
Gotcha.
Ezra also helps, but we don't tie him off because we don't
Very
know.
good,
He might
very
be,
good.
Might be a detriment.
I don't want to be split in half.
Ashes,
Deliberately try
or
to pull all 3 of them down.
Ashes, you begin to climb the rope. I need a athletics check from Bones, Matashtai, and an athletics check at disadvantage from Ezra. Because he's only partially helping. He's not tied off.
Yeah, that's surprisingly good.
16, 18,
Oh,
and
0.
0. So
0.
Ezra just isn't able to help at all, basically.
I will burn a sorcery point to see if I can.
Okay,
Zero.
sure.
Means he nat one it.
A 2. Nice.
That's
Okay.
better.
Okay.
I'm
Ezra
better
still
than 0.
basically is not able to help at all.
He's got like one pinky on the rope. He's just like, I got
Bones and Matashtai both give it a good, solid go. And they find themselves, whether it's just because they're not quite strong enough or because it's so fucking slick here and humid, they find themselves slightly sliding towards the edge as Ashes is goo,
All right.
goo.
If I feel
And Ashes,
the rope...
you feel just a little bit, but you're like, it's fine. They're holding. And then suddenly, they are holding. The rope's perfectly fine. And you begin to climb up the rest of the way, and as you top the lip, you see, partially out of the ground, Mossy has wrapped 2 arms around Bones' waist and is holding Bones back from the ledge.
Wish you would step back from the ledge, my friend.
And it has basically prevented that from being not a. I mean, it's a 15-foot drop, so it wouldn't have been a big deal, but it could have created a splash, maybe drawn attention, what have you. It prevents the oopsie moments, and you guys are all back on the ledge together.
So I just want to know, I have 3 potions of climbing, and I didn't, because I wanted to see what was gonna happen.
You're a shit. You are a shit.
Drank a potion and went up, but I wanted.
I mean, it would have been the exact same thing. It was like with Matashtai. If you added a climbing speed, there would have been 0 potential issue. You would have just gone up the side without problem. Good job, troll.
I mean, I could have just dimension doored him up too.
That's true.
Well, I mean, it was a resource that we didn't have to burn.
That's fair. It's risk versus reward. Okay,
we got up here through teamwork and grit and mostly mossy.
You all find yourself at the top of this ledge, and I'm assuming
into the cave.
You're gonna explore further. Okay, I'm gonna move you guys. Bones out front. I'm assuming doing his normal shit. Matashtai not far behind. Ezrah bringing up the rear. You guys round the corner, and you find the back of this cavern forms kind of an odd trident or a claw, as the bullywugs kind of described it. Nothing seems to be, from what you can see, right? Like, you take a quick look. Nothing seems to be in the left and right passages, but embedded into the back wall of the central passage is an arch gate. And carved into the space on the wall inside the arch gate is a bas-relief of a female dwarf standing with her eyes closed. There's a keyhole carved into the head of a stone hammer that she is clutching to her chest.
Like a keyhole, or just like
a giant stone key?
A hole for the giant stone key that I have? I take out the giant stone key that I have.
Let me verify, but I'm pretty sure. But let me verify.
The one that connected, or that was definitely on the 6th level that we found, that said, find her twin in Slither Swamp. And here we are in Slither Swamp, and look, it's her twin. Probably, I don't really remember.
Yes, it seems to be of that kind of shape.
Put it in there.
The gate goes all silvery.
I take it back out.
Gate turns back to stone.
Did it? This goes to the 6, guys.
Again, for clarity, though, you guys noticed this when you experimented with it the first time. You
pops out.
You cannot pass through the gate without leaving the key behind.
Yeah, that's kind of garbage.
It is the thing, right? Like, so the key, once you put it in, it is gone, or it's away with the portal, right? Open, and then you kind of like, you remove it, and then the portal dissipates. That type of shit.
Okay, so it's just on until we take it out?
Basically. Yeah.
Until someone takes it out.
So the way that it's designed is I might be saying it in a specific way, but mechanically, the way this gate activates is you cannot remove the key while the portal is active, right?
Does the portal remain active indefinitely? So in theory, if he put the key in the 6th
time I did it, after like a minute, it
shuts off and it pops out. Yeah, it'll spit the key. It'll turn off and it'll spit the key back out. Yeah. The intent, the design, again, I might be describing it poorly, but the design of this particular gate is that it's a one-way trip, basically.
Gotcha.
All right, cool. Well, we did it. Hey, is there anything in the other 2 little arms, the little thingies?
There does not seem to be. There's there's debris like stones and things like that, but there's no like campsites or cave drawings or anything like that.
Okay. All right. Well, we did it, guys. One less thing to be discovered.
Found a gate. All right.
And now I leave.
Back out to the ledge. All right. Getting off of a 15-foot ledge is way easier than getting up a 15-foot ledge. So we don't have to go through that scenario. Pretty simple situation. So after a few minutes, you all are all able to make it down. Although I will say this, when you go down, again, Mossy is like, "Meh." And Mossy, like, basically disappears back into the ground. He's not wading through the water. That's a no-go for him. Yeah, especially man, considering, like, he's only about as tall as the water is.
Yeah, I figured.
So you guys are available to explore further. Do you have a preference on where you would like to go?
Do you guys have a preference?
Well,
let's go this way.
Hold
this
on.
Way. Straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, we do it.
Bones out front once more. Everyone doing the conga line like you normally do.
Sneaky,
okay.
Baby.
We're gonna be coming up on Necro Zone soon.
Yeah, but I'm like, no undead's ever seen me.
Okay, all right.
No undead's ever seen me. Okay. You guys come into the situation, and I'm gonna describe what you see.
What do I see? Tell me.
What
do I see?
What does he see?
The cavern here, right? As you are moving forward, right? The cavern here narrows into a tunnel very briefly before belling back out. To your right, Bones, as you're facing southwest, right? So to your right, there is a ridge, a ledge about 20 feet up that overlooks the rest of this cavern, filled with kind of rotting vegetation and mud. It's really kind of like putrid here. There are luminescent fern-like plants sprouting from the mud, filling this area with this kind of like dim, hazy light. It's very kind of like not psychedelic, but very almost kind of like haunted house vibes, right? Like a bunch of like misty smoke and refracting light and that type of stuff. The area to the ledge, right, basically, it's too high up for you to see what's going on up there. Okay. But the rest of the space is just it's murky here, right? The whole swamp is murky, obviously, right? But there's a lot of dead vegetation here, like a whole crap ton of dead vegetation here. It's almost kind of like whereas the rest of the swamp is a soup, right? This place is like a stew.
Gross. I don't want to be in that.
Okay. So what would you like to do?
Matt starts running in circles to stay on top of the water again.
Is this ledge slimy too, or can I climb it?
This ledge is still somewhat slimy, but you could try to climb it.
Okay, and it's higher than the other ledge?
Yeah, it's 20 feet, whereas the other ledge was 15.
I mean, okay. I'll just try and climb it. I don't...
Okay. Give me an athletics check.
Okay.
DC is 14.
I rolled a 14.
You rolled a 14.
That's the lowest I can roll, actually.
It's a little rough. You find you slip once or twice, right? But you make it up to the edge of this ledge. And everyone else is kind of like moving forward as you do that. As you get up on this ledge, you can see almost basically across from you, part of the ledge wall is stained a deep red. And
Here or over here?
up here, right?
Up here, okay.
And directly below the stain, there is a severed leg wearing a
Cool.
sturdy boot.
Boots, great. Or sorry, boot, great.
And then over here, just a little to the side of you, right? Is a corpse of a longish. It seems like they've been dead for a while, right? Dwargar.
Okay, well, so I look. From what I can see, the ledge looks like it extends like a little bit.
It does seem like it extends further onwards. Yep.
I shout down to the guys, "Hey, the ledge goes on for a little bit. You guys want to come up here?" Also, there's a dead dwarf.
Dwarf.
Is there something up there that killed the dwarf?
Is there something up here that killed the dwarf?
There isn't anything up there that killed the dwarf that you can see. However,
looks fine to
with
me.
that shouts, Matashtai, Ashes, Ezrah, they see that stew of vegetation begin to build and grow and mound as three hulking shapes form up out of the swamp and begin to move towards the loud voices that have been shouting out
onto the ledge.
and that is where we are going to go ahead and end tonight's episode. When we next meet our heroes, they will figure out what the fuck they are gonna do with this situation, and we will go from there. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. It's been a fun scenario. We've got a lot of factionalism and politics going on, a little bit of exploring. Looking forward to what develops in the future of the Slither Swamp. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.